Hello, this is classic score attack mode in Tetris Effect connected on PS4. I have zoomed the view in because the game actually gives you this tiny little playfield in this mode. And because I zoomed it in so it's easier to see, that cuts out player 2, which I had been just letting because this is for some reason it's a multiplayer mode. I had just been letting the CPU play player 2, but which was kind of fun, I guess. It kept me company, but I've now cut that out, and well, I've just logged in my second controller as player 2, so it's just letting blocks fall on itself. It'll explode pretty soon, and you'll see the sparks come across the screen. Shoot. The sound that blocks make when they make contact, when they settle in place, is such a weird, dull sound. Like, listen to this. You hear that weird little low buzz? Just burp, burp. Strange. What was the sound in? Is it more of like just a click in like NES Tetris, or I don't know? Or Game Boy Tetris. What's the sound in Game Boy Tetris? I've just come from playing another NES Tetris game. It's I guess you'd call it a homebrew NES game that this Canadian, did I mention he was Canadian? The programmer made. His name's Matt Hewson, and the game is called From Below, and it is an actual NES ROM that you can just download for free from the itch.io. That's in my previous episode, so check that out if that interests you at all. It does have a classic Tetris gameplay mode, and I guess he somehow got away with that, not invoking the wrath of the Tetris company on that one. But he gave it away for free, so that probably was a good idea in that regard. Man, they really cut that one close on me. But that's a pretty good Tetris game, and I was briefly feeling a little conflicted about, shoot, do I play, what Tetris game do I play, you know? I do like the sound and colors better in this game than in that free NES ROM that came out a couple of years ago, From Below. But its colors, well, its colors are a little weird. Its music is actually pretty surprisingly good for not being, you know, the classic Tetris music. I thought I wasn't going to like it at all, but I actually liked it a good deal. But still, it's not quite as good as even this remix Tetris music. Just before I started recording, I switched my... Well, I had my buttons mapped all weird. I don't know what I was thinking, but I switched the sides for my rotation buttons. So let's see. So the right button is now rotating... I can't tell. Give me a piece I can tell on. The button I have on the right is now rotating... oh, what am I doing? Clockwise, and the button that's on the left on my arcade stick is now rotating counterclockwise, which feels more intuitive somehow. I'm not sure if that's how it works in, like, on a Game Boy or NES. I guess that's maybe how it was working in From Below. From Below you can play with the, you know, tapping up to instantly drop the pieces, and I was kind of getting into that for a while, but then whenever I miss an instant drop, you know, and it goes into the wrong column and I hose myself that way, that's when I remember why I don't like to play with instant drop, because I'm bad at aiming and I end up hosing myself more often than I do when I can't instantly drop blocks on my own head. Of course, this game, I think you can turn on instant drop even for this classic score attack mode. I'm pretty sure you can. I don't remember if it has a flashy effect associated with it, which would be another reason I would have turned it off. Oh shoot, that wasn't really thinking ahead. Oh shoot, that's the piece I needed on the other side. Real heads up play. Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know why I didn't put that L block down at the far left. Because I'm not very good at Tetris, that's why. Well. Hey. But yeah, it's From Below's pretty good, and you can't beat Free. I think, even though this playfield is really tiny, the From Below is so nice and big and pixely, you know, just classic NES, big pixel resolution. And it plays really smooth. I don't know, maybe you know, the graphics in this, the blocks are they slightly blurry? My eyeballs from here want to say it's slightly blurry, but maybe that's just because it's so tiny. Heck. And I'm just squinting at it. I don't know. I mean, neither of these is quite ideal Tetris, I suppose. What is ideal Tetris, you ask? Well, I guess I'm thinking of Game Boy Tetris. Because I've pre-ordered a Analogue Super Nt, and I've got a Super Game Boy already for it that I got off eBay. So now all I need is the actual. Well, I have to get. Let's see. I have to get a Brook Super Converter so I can play it using my arcade stick, and but yeah, then all I need is the Super NT, which they're, you know, I pre-ordered it, and oh no, that's what I get for not paying attention and babbling about the Super NT again. Well, Super NT got. Oh no, I forgot how sticky things are. 42K, not great. The nice thing about this is once you've logged in once I've logged in my second controller on the right-hand side, I don't have to keep doing anything with it. I don't have to hit any buttons on it or anything. I just retry on this side, and that side is restarted as well. So yeah, so in theory, if those Super NTs, that shipment, the last batch, I guess, that's what forced me to order one. The Analog sure knows it's business. It's forced scarcity business. It's supposed to ship sometime in Q2 of this year, which I guess is anywhere from about a little over 1 month to 5 months from now. I don't know. This isn't shaping up super well. Then I guess I'll be playing a lot of Game Boy Tetris. I still have to get an actual Game Boy Tetris cart. Why didn't I do that? I don't know. Those aren't too expensive. I have to figure out if I want to get a Japanese cart of the original Game Boy Tetris, or there goes player 2, or you know, a US cart. I think I can. The Japanese version tends to go for slightly less money. I mean, neither of them cost much at all on eBay, so it's really not a big deal. It's like 15 to 20 bucks we're talking about, maybe? I don't remember. And I don't think there's a difference, except that the original... There was this original run of like 25,000 carts in Japan of the Japanese version of Tetris Game Boy. That first run was a slightly different version. It's referred to now as version 1.0, and it had some slight differences to it. And actually, I'm not sure what those are in total. No, what am I doing there? But it's got different. It's got different music. It's got, I think, what's like the mode. Was it C or something? Music that we're used to in the Western version. It's got that as the mode. As the A mode or A type or whatever it's called, music, and didn't think that one through, and so it doesn't have the classic Tetris tune, which is not what I want. That version is goes for a little more. Usually goes for like 60 bucks or something. So I'm not going to try to buy that version. I guess it's possible I could get it accidentally if somebody was not careful about identifying what version they were selling, and they just used a generic photo or something. Because you can kind of tell there's a very slight difference in the label and like the alignment of the Russian spire with the title and the logo is slightly different between the two versions. And then also the there's a what is it, bulletproof software does not have a dash in it on the boot up screen. But I mean, only 25,000. I wonder how many. I don't know how many copies of the version 1.1 came out in Japan. But probably way more than 25K. Probably closer to like 1 million or something. So I guess all things being equal, I'll probably just go for the Japanese version, since it might be slightly cheaper. But if not, I'll just get a US one. It doesn't really matter to me, I guess. And as far as I understand it, the Super Game Boy I got... Oh wait, I got a Japanese Super Game Boy, but... Yeah, I did. Those are supposed to be essentially region-free. And of course, the Super NT from Analogue is region-free. Anyway, looking forward to that, to playing the original Game Boy Tetris again. I mean, it's all about reliving your childhood, I guess. That's the sad thing. That's basically all I'm doing here, right? Because I had Tetris on my old Game Boy, and I liked it. And then you wonder why you know, stopped playing it. I guess you don't... I guess I had to go through another... Well, I didn't sell my Game Boy stuff until I moved 4 years or so ago. I guess I sold most of my systems and games. But I hadn't been playing it. Well, I had sold my... I don't think I still had my original Game Boy Tetris, did I? Couldn't have. I don't know. That's a question. I don't remember. I don't know when I would have got rid of it. Maybe I still had it. But yeah, I guess I had to go through another 20 or 30 years of life before I realized that that's a game I really like. I mean, what'll probably happen is that I'll start playing it, and then I'll realize why I can't just play it a lot. Like, it probably starts to get to me in certain ways. Because you are just up against your own skill level, basically, you know? But in theory, that should come up even playing this version, if I get sick of it or not. Or the classic mode in From Below. But yeah, I think the blocks are actually slightly blurry in this, which is weird. I'm gonna have to take a screen grab and zoom in on it in Photoshop. And there's no real way to get them non-blurry anyway in the video, because I'm zooming in at this weird resolution now and all that stuff anyway. And I can't exactly control what resolution YouTube shows it to people in, etc. But I've basically doubled it up in my recording software. Doubled it up without blur. So it's 1440p essentially. I had like quadrupled it up for a while, but that didn't seem to help. The sharpness, I mean. And I don't have a 4K display anyway, so it's not like I can tell. But on my 1080p display, it seemed a little blurrier than 1440, the resulting video, I mean. That was kind of dumb. What am I doing? Well, that's another nice thing, though. So I don't have direct experience with a Super Game Boy, but I think they don't. I think they show the Game Boy games at their native resolution, which should mean they don't do any blurring of the Game Boy graphics. And the analog you can set to not do any blurring. Oh boy, so it should be really sharp on a Super Game Boy on a Super NT. What am I doing? But I guess I'll find out if the thing ever ships and shows up. And I'm looking forward to exploring the various color palettes you can give to it in with the Super Game Boy and stuff. Because I never had a Super Nintendo. My brother got one, but I was pretty much, I'd either left for college at that point or I was just about to leave for college. I don't remember exactly. Maybe it was before that. I do remember him playing like Final Fantasy 3 or whatever it was called, I guess. But yeah, I was never into Super Nintendo back in the day. Oh boy. I liked some games on the NES. And then when the Super Nintendo came out, I looked at it. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, I just lost it. And well, that's a new high score for me though. 67,000. Yeah, it was, because I saw, I guess it must have been, you know, what's the Super Mario World or whatever the game was on Super Nintendo. And it just seemed to me it had too many colors. Everything was kind of weird and rounded. I didn't like the way everything was just kind of rounded and cutesified. I didn't like that it had all these buttons now. I mean, what was wrong with 2 buttons? 2 buttons seemed fine to me. Now you had like 6 buttons. I didn't want to have to deal with 6 buttons. That seems stupid. What do you need 6 buttons for? And yeah, it was just all cutesy. Mario, I think, talks in that one. I didn't want Mario talking at me. That was scary. It was all just a bunch of stuff I didn't want. So I did not get into Super Nintendo at all. That was where Nintendo lost me. Not that they really cared or anything, I don't think. I'm sure they seem to have done okay. But yeah, I was not down. I was not down with the cutesified talking Nintendo. I don't think I really got into NES Tetris. We must have had NES Tetris. I think I liked it. I don't remember having any objection to it. I think I just, at that point, maybe I had already played... I must have had Game Boy Tetris first. And I just maybe just played that to my satisfaction. I didn't really... So, you know, I wasn't burning to play more Tetris at that point, perhaps. I don't remember. I don't remember what my whole feelings about Tetris were at that particular juncture. Man, I'm playing this like the old man that I am. Did I go? I thought maybe I could stuff that in there. If that fit, but no dice. That was stupid. Good thinking. Oh gosh, why? Oh yeah, now we're kicking it with the music. Kicking it, that's what the kids say, right? I'm hip. I'm down. No, guess what? I was never cool. I know that's shocking to hear. I was never cool, though. At least not as far as most people were concerned. But who needs them? Oh, what did I do that for? Heck. Well, I've created a situation for myself. I just doubled down on it. What was my new high score? 67,000 something? Oh, whopping 67,000. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these blocks are slightly blurry, which sucks. I will have to check on that. See, now that's a pro move, right? Because the blocks cleared themselves and did not end up with a trapped space. That's what I gotta get used to being able to do. That's what the pros do. They drop blocks that would leave a trapped space, except they clear themselves. I shouldn't have done that. That was not a pro move. That was a real bad move. Now, from below is harder on the eyes in one respect, which is that it does this sort of full screen palette switching. So like when you go up to the next level, suddenly the whole screen's palette switches, and like there's this kind of castle landscape thing going on in the background, and like the sky suddenly changes color, and it's slightly jarring. I mean, It's not super bad, but it's a little... Sometimes my eyeballs are like, hey, ouch. It's not real bad. Not as bad as the game over effect here, I suppose. But yeah, I think this is slightly blurry, and this playfield is definitely smaller. I can feel myself getting a slight bit of eye strain trying to squint at these tiny, probably slightly blurry blocks. Why would the blocks be slightly blurry? Can't people make non-blurry 2D graphics anymore? It seems like they can't. I've been noticing this lately in some quote-unquote 2D games. Let's just have slightly blurry 2D looking graphics, and it's like, wow, that is exact. Blurriness should never happen in 2D. Wait, can I pause now? It won't show me the blocks if I pause. That's stupid. I guess that's so you can't... I guess they have to do it that way, don't they? Otherwise you could pause it and look at the blocks. Plan your move. Yeah, blurry 2D is just becoming a huge pet peeve of mine. You know, this is a 1080p system. We should not have blurriness. But somehow they've contrived. Tetsuya Mizuguchi has contrived to, I think, give me blurry Tetris blocks. Now I'm getting mad. Making myself mad. No. No. Bungled. That was a little close. Ah, shoot. I'll be embarrassed if these blocks are not actually blurry, but I think when I have zoomed in on the screenshots and stuff I've been taking from my videos, they have been slightly blurry. See, because I can clear that now, so it's fine. This was a bit of a gamble. Which is not exactly panned out. Nah, not really. Oh no. Whatever level this is just got way too fast. I got 6. I think I got maybe a few more points. Wow. How could I get that close again? Speed level 9. I think it's time to stop there. Okay. Actually, I want to... I'm gonna start... I'm gonna squint real close up at my screen for a sec. So I got a block on there to squint at. Oh, give me a block with angles. There we go. I don't know if it's blurry or if it's just they chose colors that kind of are low contrast and they blur. I also don't really understand why they went with the whole, like you're looking at it slightly from one side effect. You know, you see a bit of the right side of the blocks, kind of. That seems goofy to me. Not a huge fan of that. Not a huge fan of this blurry, darkened, faux isometric. I guess isometric's always kind of faux in a 2D look of the blocks. So yeah, hopefully that Super NT ships in like a month. That'd be cool. That's not gonna happen though. I'll probably pick up Game Boy Tetris off eBay at the beginning of March. And then if I do get it from Japan, that, you know, will take a little while to get here anyway. But I think it's pretty safe to bet that the Super NT won't be shipping for at least a couple more months, probably longer. Okay, I said I was going to stop playing, didn't I? Yeah, so you know what? I have a source video that I recorded earlier. So if I pause this, does the music keep going? Oh, it mutes it a little. Well, that's alright. Oh, is it gonna let me run Photoshop? There's this weird conflict between Photoshop. Yeah, Photoshop doesn't want to start. Well, I can fix that actually. I'm gonna pause the recording. No, that won't work. I can't do that. Dang it. What I can do. Just use a different app. Okay, where's that video? I need the 1441. There it is. Okay, get to part with blocks. Okay. Save a screenshot of that. I'll open that in my viewer, and what's our zoom level here? Zero. Does it not tell me? I don't know. Shoot. I don't usually use this to zoom in. How do I zoom? Why is it not easy to find the... I don't want to resize, resample. I just want to... Oh, view? Okay. Full screen, no. Zoom in, zoom out, lock, zoom. I just want to type in a zoom factor. Why can't I do that? Yeah, well, it won't give me a clean zoom factor, rather annoyingly. Really? That's weird. But it does look as though there's just a certain blurriness built into the 2D graphics in this mode. Like, I've zoomed in on the next square where it shows the next piece, and when I pan over to that's a little blurry. The text there is a little blurry. I don't think it's just video compression. Well, look at the actual blocks. There's just a lot of... There's a consistent blur on them. Why did they do that? So they show you classic Tetris mode. It's... You know, I think it's just because they're running in a 3D engine and they just... it's just bad. Ugh. Well... Shoot. I guess that tips the balance for now towards From Below, playing classic mode in From Below, even with its perhaps not quite as much to my taste music and colors. But I'm gonna zoom in on that one. Actually, I'm being silly because in my video viewer I can zoom in at only 200%, looks like. That's not big enough to tell. If I save a screenshot of From Below, I'm pretty sure that one. Yeah, because I'm running, because that's an NES game, so it doesn't have enough bits to blur. That's one thing that's nice about old games. They'd have to try real hard to do anything blurry, whereas now these stupid 3D engines, these generic 3D engines that people use. I think this is running in Unreal, isn't it? It made in Unreal, this Tetris Effect or something. Yeah, it's real easy for these modern generic engines to just end up blurring all their 2D stuff because it's treated like 3D stuff unless people are real careful with it, and most people just don't care when it's just one little faux 2D mode in their big 3D engine. That sucks. Well, I think I am going to stick with From Below then until my Super NT shows up. It's got them nice sharp, because I can just, of course it's a free NES ROM, and then you can just run it in an emulator and set all, you know, exactly what kind of scaling and non-blurriness you want. So that's pretty much ideal. So yeah, maybe I'll just keep playing that. Well, anyway, I got a new high score in this Blurry Tetris game. What was it? Just below 68K. Still pretty lame, but you know, inching up. And actually, what was my high score in From Below? Oh, well, I was experimenting in From Below with using the instant drop or not. I think, yeah, I'm looking at my own video while talking in another video I'm recording. That makes for wonderful viewing, I know. Oh, I got 61K in From Below, so actually that's pretty close score-wise. 61K in From Below, 67 or whatever it was in this. Huh, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they both play, you know, pretty much spot on, I suppose you would have to say. The From Below guy, did I mention this already? He worked with, like, you know, professional level NES Tetris players and stuff to tweak the gameplay on his until they were satisfied with it on From Below. And I think it shows. It just plays so smooth. It's such a smooth game. I do wish the colors and the colors, I was going to say the music's fine. I do wish the colors could get tweaked a little, but it's not that big a deal. Yeah, I guess I'm going to be playing From Below. It's sharp, not like this blur fest. What was the other? Oh, the previous 2 episodes back now, I was playing the Double Dragon 2 NES version that's in the collection on PS4. I have the Japanese version, which is called Kunio-kun, the World Classics Collection. The US version that came out like 2 years later was this? I think it's just called Double Dragon and Kunio-kun Retro Brawler Collection or something like close to that. That shows the Unity 3D engine logo at the start, and that renders its NES games with always a little blur no matter which of the 4 or 5 screen sizes you choose. So again, how to completely violate the beautiful aliasing and chunkiness and sharp pixels of an old game by just blurring the stupid heck out of it in a modern 3D game engine. It's so stupid. I'm mad now. I'm mad. Even though I suppose my zoomed in view was gonna result in some blurring anyway, unavoidably, due to rescaling on YouTube and so forth, but yeah. Alright, well, I guess I can uninstall Tetris Effect again. Well, that was a $40 experiment. I mean, if I hadn't just found From Below, which I only found out about from listening to a 2-year-old podcast episode. It was the Two Dudes and a NES podcast, episode 155, where they had the author of From Below, Matt Houston, on to... Well, the game they were discussing was the NES game Mighty Final Fight, but before that they talked about From Below that he was working on at the time, and it was an interesting talk, and that got me interested enough to check out. I mean, he said, "Oh, it's it's kind of a Tetris game." So they're like, "What?" So yeah. Anyway. And the default mode in From Below is this Kraken's tentacles like push up a column of blocks, a random column of blocks gets pushed upward slowly, and it disrupts your stacking and so forth. But you can switch the mode. It's not immediately obvious to the eye that you can switch to a classic Tetris mode, but it is in there. There's a mode line on the menu screen, and if you toggle that over, you'll find a classic mode. Anyway, you can just watch the previous video of mine. I have a big video on it. And I mean, the tentacle's interesting, but like I was saying, you don't necessarily, a little tentacle goes a long way. You don't have to play tentacle all the time, right? Sometimes you just want classic no tentacle Tetris play, and you can do that. And you can play it in whatever emulator you like. You can play it without any kind of blurring if you want, and it's beautiful. Even if the colors aren't perhaps my personal preference, but they're not horrible. So yeah. Yeah. That's what I'll do, yeah. Well, we can quit this, and I do like to show myself deleting games out of spite. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this tiny view. While panning over, I guess I can afford to destroy. I don't want to. Well, I will destroy it because I'm going to delete this. This OBS layout I made to zoom in. I don't need that anymore. So there it is. Here's the Dickens, the blurry Dickens that has been subtly giving me a tiny bit of more eye strain that I certainly don't need. See you later. I mean, it was cool that they added that mode, that's for sure. But even, I mean, they made that classic score attack mode to imitate, and they made it in conjunction with the Tetris Classic. What's it called? Tetris. I think it's just Tetris Classic Championships or tournaments or something. These folks who are just Tetris fans and hardcore players who are doing like head-to-head tournaments with NES Tetris. So they made that Tetris Classic score attack. They added that to the Tetris Effect Connected when the Connected add-on, or it's not an add-on, it's a free upgrade, came out. Oh, it's making too much noise, isn't it? I can turn it down because I'm going to scrap this. So they made that whole mode to sort of capture the attention and wishes of that competitive Tetris scene that's been blowing up on YouTube and so forth. But those folks seem to have looked at it and sort of appreciated that they were being paid attention to. And, you know, kind of, I think they must have given feedback to the people making the game, and said, yeah, and told them how to make it like they wanted it. And then they did a few tournaments with it, and then they stopped using it. I don't think they ever, I mean, it would have been hard to imagine these people who were super hardcore NES Tetris players, why would they ever switch to a different system, you know? I mean, they're gonna go to their timely rest with a NES controller, you know, clutched in their hand, and they don't really need anybody to make them an imitation on some other console. I think the only thing they would give up an NES itself for would be, you know, like an FPGA NES, if in the far future when all the NESs have just disintegrated. But that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Like, I was thinking maybe this getting a Super NT, an FPGA SNES, basically was dumb, and I should have just gotten an actual Super NES. Because I hadn't looked it up when I ordered the Super NES or Super NT, but the Super NES, Super NES, you could get a RGB out cable for it that would work in its, you know, Nintendo format video out socket. There was a RGB out for it, and that RGB would be, you know, plenty sharp. I have RGB out for my my RGB modded PC engine. That's really sharp. I just recorded a Double Dragon 2 PC engine video off that, and it's super sharp. But so I could have done that. I was thinking, oh no, I screwed up. I could have just got a real Super Nintendo. But I think the Super Nintendo's video output, just like its chips or whatever, are just not actually that sharp. And well, in fact, there's this whole thing where the real connoisseurs, there's a certain run, I guess it was later SNES models, but not of the later, like, tinier SNES, the Mini Junior, or the Junior, I guess. Not that one, but some of the later run of the bigger SNES had a video chip with more crisp output. And so the real connoisseurs try to hunt those down, and, you know, they know what serial numbers to look for and stuff. But those units would probably go for more. Like a in the know seller would certainly be asking for more money for one of those. So those would definitely cost more than a Super NT. And then there was some other thing. Well, they're also bigger, like Super NT's nice and tiny. What was the other thing about getting an actual SNES? I can't remember now. Maybe nothing. Well, I mean, you know, the various bits on it could be wearing down or something, like the pin connectors for the cartridge slot, or the, of course you can repair those if you know what you're doing. I do not. What else was there? Their capacitors aren't known to be a problem. Like, I got my PC Engine recapped. I sent that off to, this is back when I was getting more financial support from my parents, so I had a little money that I felt I could spend. I sent my PC Engine off to Retro Fools is their name. They're on Etsy, and they advertised recap service for PC Engine duos and so forth, because supposedly those are known to have their capacitators, whatever they're called, like just start leaking acid or something and just go kaput. So and your video signal gets horrible. And so I got that recapped, but that's not supposed to be a problem so much with Super Nintendos. The original Super Nintendo. So yeah, it just would have probably been a blurrier video output just because of their chips. I think even the sought after ones were probably not super duper high fidelity, but I mean, judging from video that people have recorded off them or say they have on YouTube, they're sharp, but they're not, super duper sharp. I don't know. Getting too picky, I know, but I'm trying to make myself not feel bad for not getting an old Super Nintendo, but I don't really like. They're just kind of big and bulbous, Anyway, I'm getting a tiny little sleek black Super NT, and that's just what I'm gonna be doing. Yeah, it'll be fine. Right? It'll be fine. Anyway, I guess Tetris-wise, I'm going to be playing, trying to satisfy myself Tetris-y style by playing the Tentacular From Below free NES ROM in the nice, sharp new version of the Mesen emulator, version 2.0. Which seems really nice so far. I like it. I like From Below in it. I like how sharp those are. So yeah, that's going to be happening, it looks like. Well, thanks for watching what is probably my last Tetris Effect Connected video then. Gosh dang. Anyway, and those Super NTs can't ship soon enough, right? Yeah, but in the meanwhile, I guess I'll probably do some more tentacle Tetris. Okay, well, I'm gonna go away before I just keep babbling. Thank you for watching, and see you later.